It is you fucked up big. You allowed this to happen, and now we've got to fix it. The assorted, well-fed, burbling lunatics and idiots and losers of the conservative media establishment and conservative social channel, Republican establishment in Washington, useless, fat, blubbering losers. You rather find this it's always a mistake. My message to the conservative media is you fucked up hugely. You made all the right noises, but you had no appetite whatsoever to fix anything. You were left to ground and gain ground and gain ground. Until a point, and I don't think this is an exaggeration to say, the fabric of West culture is now at risk. From immigration, from multiculturalism, from the lies the left tells. The things that we have built, the things that have made the West a beautiful and wonderful place to live, whether it's for straight white males, or for men, or for minorities, because it isn't, it wasn't the progressive movement that, achieved most of the accomplishments of Western civilization, giving us to be everybody with a nice life, regardless of what they want to work on. Because, and you let us all down. And we're blind. With their representation, whether it's politics or in the rest of it, is out and see places that are going to be more honest, more robust, that aren't scared of fighting, that aren't scared of sticking up for your rights, sticking up for your culture, which is very serious risk. And I'll just tell you one quick thing before I finish. The extent to which large-scale Islamic immigration, and this is where the room goes quiet, is going to change the face of Europe. Speak of Brit, it terrifies me. It terrifies me as a minority because these people want to throw me off a roof. And we're not talking just ice here. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, a study came out in England said that 52% of British ones want gay sex made illegal. 39% of them think one should always obey her husband. 25% want Sharia law. And then you've got these sort of ridiculous queers for Palestine on campus. Have you ever seen these guys? The queers for Palestine, I have a theory. The queers for Palestine are the stupidest people on the earth. I sometimes like to go out and to talk to them and I'll say, so you know that 97% of Palestinians, homosexuality is an unacceptable lifestyle choice. You get that, right? And they're like, yeah, but they're like really impressed. They're like, we're impressed. They're like, I think it's really important to stand up to like cis white hetero patriarchy. Are your questions? Thank you very much. Is this work? Can you hear me? Can you hear me through here? Okay, fine. We're still down. I don't know how
just show until the battery runs dry.
Alright, yeah, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Milo.
How are you?
I'm a moderator on the popular subreddit r/Donald, and first thing.
Woo! Yeah!
And I just have one more question for the user.
Go ahead.
How do you get your hair to look so fabulous?
No, you see, you picked the wrong day to stand up for this. No, you see, you picked the wrong day. I don't know if any noticed, but I recently made an addition to my face. Do you like it? I'm about to go into my white rapper phase. No, I am, because I've done kind of like the foppish blonde pin shit. I've done that now. So I'm going to start wearing True Religion. I'm going to get some tats, and then I'm growing this out actually, and I'm going to get cornrows because the thing I like most after Black Dick is cultural appropriation. Thank you very much. Next question.
Hi, Milo. I'm a freshman here at American University. I'm actually I'm considering studying like pre-law, and I'm super into like debating. And there's something it's very impressive how you debate. You have such an authority, and you're just very like quick, and it's really.
There's a big coming, isn't there?
Oh no. Oh, I'm giving you a little
Sorry.
compliment.
Then I accept it wholeheartedly.
Okay, well, it's funny. So this is a two-parter, forgive me. But okay, so there was this like everybody like saw the like feminism is true thing on like in the library and got torn down and stuff, right?
Whoever did that deserves a slap on the bottom. Horrible behavior.
Oh my goodness. It's funny, and then like I saw so the news about Bart, so they had this video, and it's like, would you rather have your child be a feminist or have cancer? And it's like, ugh.
Yeah, the students at Michigan, it was funny.
Yeah. So, and they like promoted it, but it's funny. So my freshman year of high school, I was diagnosed with cancer,
Yes.
and I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. I had stage 4, so like from my neck down to like my pelvis. So like that's where all the tumors were. But like I'm also, and I hate to break it to you, I'm a feminist too. So like would you what would you tell my parents like when I was diagnosed and like almost about to die? You'd be like, I'm so sorry that she also believes in like equality of the sexes. Like that's sucks.
Oh, I see. I would quote my favorite rapper, and I would say, if you can take a dick, you can take a joke.
Oh wait.
Next question, please. All right, go ahead. You've been a good sport. Go ahead.
You seem to be really angry with feminists who have cancer, and I just feel so bad. Like,
No, I'm not angry with feminists with cancer. You seem to misunderstand how humor works.
Oh, I'm sorry. I really don't understand humor, woman. So
I don't even have to say it.
yeah, no, like, what is humor? Explain it to me. But like,
It's
no,
not what
Let's move on to the next question. Thank you very much.
No, I'm not done. When I do you like?
Whoa! Get up! Come on! Question, please. Next fucking question.
Did you like throw a brick in your
Did you leave a coat? Can I take it?
Oh yeah.
I'll send it to you in 2 weeks. All right. Next question.
Trump.
Well, I think we're done. Please stay up to the line. Thank you.
How do you get your hair stuff, yo?
Whose man's is that? Who's
Well, thank you so much for coming and everyone.
Okay. Someone come get their mans right now. Come get them.
Hey, Milo, so
Hi.
is it on? Okay, whatever. I gotta ask, why is your Twitter name Nero? Is it like on the Emperor, like Nero, or is that just like a person name?
Oh well.
Just because I love Roman history, I'm joking here.
No, me too. He was definitely the best emperor. No, he was the best emperor. Aside from the burning the Christians thing, which I'm not totally into because I quite like Christians. I sometimes claim to be a Catholic, which I supposedly am. I haven't been to mass in some time. No. So are you better friends with Twitter than I am now? I couldn't, like, nobody could spell Yiannopoulos because some idiot had already taken Milo. So I said, can you send me some cool usernames? And there was references and stuff. So I looked up because it had been a while since I did history and stuff. We feel classics.
Yeah.
This was fabulous, lavish, and in now I like to hated by and the immortal all gay men have aspired to the level of melodrama that Nero achieved on his deathbed, which was to die qualis artifex pereo, what an artist I die. So it was really an aspirational choice. Anybody else?
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out. My question to you is that most people with political beliefs, one direction or another, particularly rare ones, like to evangelize more people into their way of thinking. Do you think that by alienating certain that you get to bring in certain military?
This is a good question. I think I really don't care. My question in the cultural libertarian movement, the movement that believes it's sort of it's like classical liberalism, if you know anything about J.S. Mill, updated and with more fun and mischief and the internet. And if you're cultural libertarian, you don't really expect anyone to believe in any particular political direction. What you want is an open level marketplace of ideas, which we in America today do not have. It doesn't happen in the media, it doesn't happen on college campuses. We really don't have that in American public life now. Now, in order to be effective, this cultural libertarian movement, to crack the crust of liberalism, which by now is, you know, an existing double ossified thing in the media, in academia, in the entertainment industry, you need some hellraisers. Now, I'm not suggesting that every speech activist or every conservative you ever speak to should behave like I do. Clearly, that would be ineffective. But sometimes you do need hellraisers. You need hellraisers like me. You need hellraisers like Coulter, Donald Trump, Gavin McInnes. You need people like that to open up the debate in the first place, so people start talking. And up behind them come the more recent voice, let's say, like Christina Hoff Sommers, who will come up and bring, you know, the full, hate fact brigade tirade, will bring, you know, a degree of rigor and scrutiny and calmness and class, which I sometimes to a debate to persuade people who are otherwise either unaware that it was even going on or aren't to participate in it. So I'm well aware that my style is not going to win over everybody, but that's not, you know, the total. That's not my function, if you like.
Do you actually believe the stuff you say?
Yeah, I don't say anything.
Thank you very much.
I wouldn't say it. Yeah.
I'll go.
Okay, fine.
Hi, Milo. From a legal perspective, it's still hard to create or to ban hate speech without creating a laundry list of exceptions.
Yes.
Do you believe that right to free speech should be absolute?
Yeah, I think there's some commonsensical things, exceptions to a radical free speech rule. You can obviously incite violence, you can't be drumming up terrorism, but the left seem to care too much about those things. If you look at the way that Twitter polices its network, for instance, it is constitutionally social justice infested company. They seem to care far more about people who ridicule feminists than policing ISIS off their network, at least until they are shamed into doing something serious about it. The left doesn't seem to care much about dangerous kinds of speech, unless dangerous kinds of speech attack one of their special groups. I think that the exceptions to free speech should be extremely limited, and also that we've seen on the internet it's very bad business to clamp down on free speech, and those businesses that allow people to speak freely and openly tend to flourish. Those don't, like Twitter, get themselves into a lot of trouble. The exception is Facebook. Facebook's very worrying, actually, because Facebook is a company that has teamed up with the German government to censor perfectly respectable opinions about immigration. So in Germany, you can express an opinion that millions of people share. Maybe it's an anxiety about what's going to happen to your local town. Maybe it's a complaint about something that happened in real life. And that will be removed from Facebook and branded hate speech. Now, quite aside from the unpleasantly mean process of doing that to another human being, reclassifying their opinions, their criticism, or even their ridiculous abuse, harassment, hate speech, which is what the left does every day. Quite aside from the cruelty of that, it just makes no fucking sense. Facebook is the exception there. I hope that they come to realize that free speech is going to serve them better than trying to gerrymander their network into a progressive ideological direction, although I don't think that's the case. I think Facebook and Twitter are gearing up to interfere in this election in a way that most of us won't even be aware of.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Yes. Can you briefly share your thought on the Black Lives Matter movement? And then, if not BLM, do you have any idea what a more productive approach to race relations in the U.S. would look like?
Well, Obama's been a spectacular disaster for race relations. Race relations are there for a century because, Obama's good in one way. He's basically, is probably not that big a disaster. Listen to people like Martin Shkreli, who had on last week. He thinks it's not that big a deal. Some of you will have very different about that. Obama basically hasn't done anything for 8 years. It would have been nice, however, if somebody had done something. It would have been nice if he had done Black Lives Matter, because the only effect of it is black city flames. Now, you can say, and some of you may disagree with this, I think the black community, terrible expression, I think blacks in this country are still owed something from slavery. I think there is a legacy that is still with them. I think they have, I think they have some valid grievances. Black Lives Matter is not the answer. Black Lives Matter encourages people into victim grievance culture, encourages them to blame the white man, encourages them to burn down their own cities, rather than encouraging them to heart the American dream, take control of their destiny, rather than encouraging them to get to college, to have stable nuclear families, which we know is the best possible start in life for children, rather encouraging them to take responsibility for their own behavior and their own actions, encourages them to act out, to have tantrums, and to blame other people for their problems. That, I don't believe, is the right direction of blacks in America. If you want to start improving race relations, you have to, I think the conservative moves to come up with a strong, fun, attractive, inspirational alternative to Black Lives Matter, to show black people who don't know, who think this might be the way to fix the problems they see when they walk out their front door, that this movement is spiteful and toxic and hateful, racist, based on lies, and will get you anything. Your local high street in flames. Thank you. Yep.
Hey, I'm Remy. I'm a white landowner.
Good, you can vote.
And I was kind of on the fence tonight, listening to what you're doing. And after I heard what you said, just say you're just like a fucking prick.
Who's this?
Yeah, I just kind of want to get off my chest.
Do you have a question, sir? Or are you just going to stand there being a cuck? You ran away. Don't run away.
Just like a cock.
There we go. The courage of the left. Next question. I would if I could. Next question, please.
First of all, thank you for following me on Twitter. It made my whole week.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Oh, well, congratulations. I don't actually read anything from the people that I follow, but they all are in an exclusive club of 3,300 and something.
That's awesome. So if Trump wins the Republican nomination but loses the
You
general...
mean when?
Yeah, sure. But loses general, which, as I am a Trump supporter, I think is probably likely so.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Republican Party be remade in sort of Trumpism, like limitation of immigration, sort of more nationalistic, or do you think that he will sort of be a one-off and the party will go back to business as usual?
Oh, the horse is bolted. No putting it back. The anxieties and the concerns that have been expressed in the Trump movement, the cat's out of the bag now. The conservative movement in America needs to deal with those people, needs to address their concerns properly. The Republican Party has started talking about its voters like liberals talk about its voters, calling them bigots and rednecks, and saying in the case of National Review they deserve to die. Well, fuck you, National Review. If you are determined to give up on your own base, then you have no business being a political party. You serve no further function. You are no longer fit for purpose. You deserve burn. And if the result of a Trump candidacy is that the Republican Party tears itself apart and never wins another election, I say good news.
Hi, Milo. I've known you since late 2014. You're a longtime Democrat, but you may well have convinced me to vote Republican.
You're making good life decisions.
My question is, on the off chance that Donald Trump loses tested convention, are there any Republican politicians that you would support?
No.
Okay.
But I don't think so. I can't think of any in the early... No, I'm not a libertarian who loses too. I'm just teasing. You see, I say this because I know how thin-skinned you are, and I've told you so many times. So I was talking on the Rubin report, Dave Rubin show, and I said, I don't really care that much about. I said about two groups of people. I said about atheists, and I said about libertarians. And I said, the thing of it is, I don't really care what they believe. They're just so thin-skinned. They get so angry about things. First comment under the video: how dare you say we're thin-skinned? I only really tease libertarians because they always take the bait, so thanks. There's more to politics than weed, Bitcoin, and hacking. Do you mean foreign policy? No, so that's a lot roundabout way of saying Rand Paul, grow up. Well, there we go. The college Republicans are upset. Well, who else? Is there anyone else? I mean, Cruz looks like he got out of a swamp. Ted Cruz looks like something in a tissue. Sort of gelatinous and slimy, and like if you eat it, you'd never get it off your. No, I think it's just Daddy. Thanks. Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry.
Do you think your popularity has made it more acceptable for people to be gay and conservative, gay and Republican?
Yeah, I'll tell you something. I've never experienced homophobia, really. It's from other gay people when they find out I'm conservative. I have one of those people, that word is faggots. No, I mean, it makes my flesh crawl to see the gay lobby use exactly the kind of tactics that they accuse the religious right of using, whether it's sort of public shaming or just general sort of cruelty, vindictiveness, dragging people to the streets effectively. When I see the gay lobby kind of, parading around, and there's no other word for it, although I try to avoid this, bullying kids, it makes me sick to my stomach. They're hypocrites, and it's what I referred to earlier when I said they're the people who make me want to gay bash, and they really do. The good news is that most of us aren't that. So if you have gay people in your life and you're worried they might be fags, rather than just guys who like dick, chances are they're all right. 51% of gay people polled, the Guardian poll in the UK last election, they were planning to vote Conservative. No reason to suppose that they didn't. There's a thing called preference falsification, which a friend of mine told me about recently. Preference falsification, you basically go along with what other people believe because it gives you an easy life, which explains the popularity of BuzzFeed. But a good thing happens when you realise that there's no social consequence attached to saying how you really feel, and that others feel the same way, and that some cool other people feel the same. And that precipitates what's called a preference cascade, and that happened in the fall of the Berlin Wall and the end of communism in Europe. It's happened with Trump, and I think it's about to happen in the gay community as progressives suddenly to give up on gays. I'm now told that my Grindr preferences are racist or some shit like that. And the male bit, apparently, in the sort of crazy social justice hierarchy of lunacy, is more important than the gay bit. So I'm no longer oppressed, and you have to worry about transgender pronouns now, despite the fact that we're welcoming in 1.4 million Muslims into Germany, who want my lifestyle to be illegal, and the cases would go much further. Fuck you. Yeah, whoever.
Hi, my name is Ruby. It means cow.
It means what?
Cow.
Cow. Cow. I hope you're not one.
Well, I'm not a feminist. Yeah, I come from a...
Do you know what's great is I've now managed to produce these sorts of disclaimers. Go ahead, sorry.
I come from a third world country where there is actual gender inequality, and I'm disgusted by the individuals who just, use these excuses to enable that gluttonous lifestyle, lose some weight and get people.
You have a bright future ahead on the college speaking circuit.
Well, I'll probably get married.
Well, fortunately, you're all big, so you probably won't get killed for being a woman, but the countries might, and you suggest that you perhaps care for those. This is one of the problems to the left. They're all very happy to clamp down manspreading, mansplaining, manslamming, this variety of confected microaggressions that are all another way of saying we won a war and now we've got nothing left to look for or fight for, so we're going to invent new shit to be angry about. As Douglas Murray says, the mullahs are going to nuke us while we're arguing over transgender pronouns. But there are countries in which feminism might be useful. There are countries in which feminism might help some people rather than just be a general annoyance created by dumpy lesbians. No. I've said this a couple of times now, so I want to explain. There's a serious point behind that, actually. If you look at the particular kind of misandry, the man-hating, in the current movement. And I want to put this in context a little bit. You know, we should be enormously proud of the strides that we have made to give women access to the workplace, to education, to all the efforts that they can now do in the West. And many people come here for precisely those sorts of reasons. One thing we don't need to do is hold our tongue. We see a movement with a proud and incredible history, which has achieved many great things for women. You know, the vote, equality, and according to any metric you care to name. One thing I don't think we should do is hold our tongue when we see that movement taken over by a hateful contingent of people who just hate men. That is what has happened to feminism. That is very much the feminism that takes hold in the studies and theory. She's not going to pick up very much of what I have to say. Arrested something. I don't think we should hold our tongues when the and some of you won't like where this is going, but I don't think we should hold our tongues when the good name of feminism is sullied by the modern way of lunatics. If you've seen any of my talks for 3.5 summers, you know that I'm not, a knee-jerk, reactionary when it comes to feminism. There are some feminists who are among my closest friends. They're just not people currently teaching in gender departments and not people with jobs in the media. But please carry on, because I've interrupted you at great length.
Yeah, so my question is, how can we eradicate this disease that is the SJW syndrome? And, I know that gassing people has always been historically one way,
I think what our charming guest was trying to say thank you for the question. I think what she was trying to say is that it can sometimes be so difficult to go up against the wall of fact-free nonsense. It can sometimes seem the wall is against you. When you read in the newspapers, even in conservative newspapers, that that women are paid less than men, and you know they're not. When you read that there is a campus rape culture, and you know that. When you read that women are some kind of oppressed class in America today, which just doesn't pass the most basic common sense. So thank God they're not. We should give ourselves a round of congratulations that they're not. But why do we persist in allowing people to lie to us that they are? It can sometimes seem, given that the conservative media and conservative politicians have capitulated utterly to this stuff, it can sometimes seem as though extreme measures are the only option. They're not the only option. I personally prefer to fight with mischief and ridicule and humour and hate facts. And to rub their noses in the lunacy of their positions, least by being a dangerous faggot, showing up on their cameras and triggering them into high hell. Thank you for the question. Even though it's an unexpected turn, I think we've made it through that one.
While leaving, can I have a picture with you?
Well, afterwards, I'm gonna say hi. So I'll be sure. No more gas, okay?
Oh.
And I can take a dick and I can take a joke.
Carry on. Writing research on how BuzzFeed and movements like feminism is actually reducing the median IQ of communities.
Well, I like you. I like you. When I see you at the end, then I'm going to have your number. I want to have a chat with you. No guessing. Talk about other things. I wrote a column about this that really let people, so I decided to write more like it. And it said that people should go back in the closet because they're making society more stupid. I'll just run the thesis by you, see what you think. Basically, in the 50s, gay people would all get married, have kids, and then they would have a sort of secret double life. And that was exciting. I mean, all the sex is transgressive, all the best sex is naughty and devious. Gays are endlessly mollycoddled in society. I'm thinking of going straight. No, it just says that all the fun in sex is gone for me. It's gone. It's gone. There's a single person in this room who would say, I think what you're doing is disgusting. Well, maybe one or two in the front, but there isn't really anybody in this room who would say what you're doing is disgusting. So, that's sort of robbed all the joy of sex for me, really. Anyway, it used to be fun when, gays had kids, all the rest of it. Now, facts for you. Gay people test significantly higher for IQ than normal people. Listen, we do, we're smarter. And we know that IQ is at least 60 to 80% heritable. Can you fill the gaps? Well, yes. Gay people don't breed anymore. And instead, they get sort of awful saccharine Laura Ashley decorated tutu down, a second-hand golf, and they adopt. They end up like Dave Rubin. Ooh, I mean, I love them. Domesticated homosexuals. Is there anything worse? I want gay people to be dissident and mischievous. I want gay people to be like... Anyway, well, the obvious solution to this is that gay people should go back in the closet, start marrying again, and stop the decline of, you know that it's getting stupider. Do you know that? Do you know well, you were alluding to the median IQ in America is going down. Well, it's not going down in China, and it's not going down in Russia. And if you care about the preservation of Western culture and freedom, liberty, and all those other wonderful things America has been so great at preserving and protecting for the rest of us, then you all care that you're getting dumber. And one of those reasons might be a not insignificant slice of the population that tests significantly high for IQ breeding anymore. So I've lost track of the question, but it's interesting to think of things. Next question, please.
Hi, Milo. I just want to thank you for coming out.
Thanks.
So my comment is, I'm a fan of comedy, and I think comedy can be used to benefit society, to talk about news and politics, like you thought last night when you took the faggot. You know, I thought that gas stroke was kind of okay, but not really. So people on the left, like John or Jon Stewart, current year, some of their videos can be used for good, and some of it is a little too far left. Is it possible for somebody on the right to do the same thing?
Yeah, I certainly hope to. I don't see, it's a myth that there's no talent on the right in entertainment. If I can tell you, and I can't, like some of the people that are fans of mine, people that you will be fans of, like rappers, movie stars, you wouldn't believe it. It will shock you. And it would shock you because we're not hearing this from entertainment celebrities, but it's true. And I don't think there's anything intrinsically funny about conservative positions. I mean, I think the left is so funny right now. I mean, those like the memes on the internet. Okay, that's a good job. What's the worst thing about being a Bernie supporter? Driving your girlfriend's kid to school. I love this shit. Really funny. It's really funny. And you've got these all these crazy, wacky fests and nipple tassels on slut walks saying, don't look at me, don't objectify me. You're like, bitch, you kidding? They're nipple tassels. It's funny. It's also funny that that they want this sort of huge army of Burke women. It's all about liberation and freedom and the equality of women, and we're doing they're welcoming in cultures into Europe and now into America that put women behind sheets. Because men and women can't be trusted to mix with one another. I mean, actually, Islamism and feminism have a lot in common, but that's funny too. That's funny. Islamism and feminism very similar. That's fun. I don't think there's anything intrinsically left-wing about a comedy or about humor. And the truth, if you think about it, not only are the left in power everywhere, but they're also fucking funny. They're ridiculous. They're ridiculous. So I mean, I very much hope that there's going to be a preference for the entertainment industry. I think comedians have to lead it. Comedians have to lead it because they're better than anyone else. Threats to create freedom posed by cultural scolds, by the nannies, the pearl clutchers, the people who want to control what you say, do, think, read, the video games you play. These people are a menace, and comedians get the brunt of their ire way before any of the rest of the entertainment industry. So I think it has to be led by comedians. I very much hope it happens. I hope so.
A quick comment out.
Yeah.
Your article of the alt-right's guide to establishment was fantastic.
The establishment conservative guys do what thing?
And then if you want to piss off feminists more, you should dress, act, and talk Andrew Dice Clay.
I should what?
You should dress, act, and talk like Andrew Dice Clay.
Who's Andrew Dice Clay?
The starting nursery rhymes.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. No, that's good. I've got a better outfit than that plan. Some of you will know about this already. Know about this already? Yeah. So cultural appropriation, which I referred to delicately and sensitively earlier, is one of my favourite subjects. And nowhere is this more of a hot topic than Yale. Yale, of course, being the site of that infamous video where this crazy harpy girl is like, who employed you? Who employed you? Well, actually, it turned out she was on the nominating for this guy. And yelling at, it's true, yelling at a professor because his wife had written a letter saying that it's really not that big a deal if people wear mariachi costumes, like chill the fuck out. So with my customary sensitivity and tact, I've made plans to go and speak at Yale a couple of days before Halloween, and I'm going to talk about cultural appropriation. I'm going to give a talk that's called Cultural Appropriators from History, and I'm going to do it in full Native American costume. Like, I'm not that funny. I'm not that, know that I'm not that funny, but this is how easy it is. This is why you should all be doing it. You are, somebody doing it with a chalk. You should be very proud of yourself. Like, it's not that hard, but no, I'm gonna be out there in full Native American costume with a bunch of my friends who are actually Native American. They'll be wearing like the clobber from their tribes. And then I'll come in on a litter, you know, held aloft by some topless black athletes or something. But I don't know if they had them in, you know, the Apache tribes in where, but we'll work it out. I know they didn't have the wheel. No, they didn't. They never invented it. You know that? Native Americans never invented it. You're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to say that. Okay, that's true. They never invented it. So I'm not doing that because I can't remember the question. Let's move on.
Hey Milo.
Hi.
So apparently this is a snowy campus, but I saw on your Instagram that you like Newport, so I followed back.
Oh, thank you so much. You can come on.
No.
Thank you very much.
Consider it a burnt offering.
I shouldn't do that again.
I have a
That's
question.
all right. Oh, they're hunters.
So anyways, as a compatriot target as yourself, I want to know how you think that SJW rhetoric specifically influences gay men in the United States as it pertains to not only the downfall of gay culture in our country, but also, and perhaps more importantly, to the treatment of homosexuals abroad, most notably in predominantly Muslim countries.
I've kind of skipped around this, I'll address it more directly for you. I don't see a reason why gay people would be feminists. That's insane. Why would a gay person be a feminist? Doesn't make any sense. Well, it's part of this thing where, you know, minorities have been co-opted by the left into believing that there's this sort of spectre, this evil, cis-het, white, patriarchal, you know, whatever, but, you know, the country run by people like this. You know, these no, you know, I won't go there. But, so I'm getting quite distracted. They're in a series. That's all right, I know him. There's a series of conspiracy theories the left peddles about who really runs society, or the, you know, who people who are oppressing. And what they want to do is called intersectionality, and it basically means some people's lives are shit for multiple reasons. And what they want to try to do is to say that if you're a member of any of these victim groups, then you have the same enemy as we, so we should all fight together. So they do it with women, they do it with blacks, they do it with gays, except there's one problem, it's a lie. And actually there's no reason for gays to buy into social justice craziness. In fact, when you think about it, gays make natural libertarians. They're certainly no reason they can't be conservatives. They can't believe in the preservation of a culture that afforded them rights and privileges in a way that the rest of the world has. There's no reason why a gay person wouldn't be very proud of America, very proud of freedom, democracy, liberty, the rule of law, freedom of speech, freedom of academic inquiry, freedom of creative, all the things that make America great. I mean, I would imagine that gay people would intrinsically enjoy those things, and I encourage you to remind the fact in life of this. But the left is, you know, hasn't just forgotten about gays, but it's actively working to their interests now, and that risks gay culture in two ways. One, when I said that all great sex is transgressive, well, a more general point there. I think that gays are at their best when they're at the front of society experimenting. It's why gays are overrepresented inventors and artists and military generals. You know, we're really, really good at the very top end, partly because we're smarter than you. We're very good at that stuff, and gays have a good record at really pushing forward culture and society. That doesn't happen when the left co-opts you and says, you know, oh, you must have gay marriage, be like just like straight people. You must be the same as straight people. You must have a house and a car and a kid that you hate, and a husband you hate, car you hate, and be miserable just like us. You know, I quite like the version of gay life which humbling out of a nightclub on a Monday afternoon, like off your face, and no one can say that you're gay, you know. I mean, I quite like that version. And that version also, you know, that dissident gay life is where gay people live if they want to have discoveries. It's, you know, it's that broadened consciousness and awareness of the drug tape. It's the, you know, it's the Alan Turing's. It's the you know, you name it. That's a serious risk by the domestication of homosexuality by the left. And the other thing, as you correctly made, is the threat from Islam. And I don't mean, and I want to stress very clearly, I do not mean radical Islam. I don't mean terrorists. I mean all of them. And I gave you some statistics earlier. Yeah, I mean, you know, I gave statistics earlier that should have shocked you. And if they haven't shocked you, then I'll give you them again. 51% of British Muslims. This is not Muslims in Syria. This is not Muslims in you know, some warm backwater. Although of course that's just as bad there too. 97% of Palestinians. 41% of British Muslims think that homosexuality, gay sex should be illegal. 39% of them believe that women should always obey their husbands. 25% of them want Sharia law. This is crazy, this is scary stuff. And this is not Muslims in some war-torn country. This is the Muslims that we have encouraged to integrate. They're the good ones. Can you imagine what the rest are like? We know what the rest are like because Pew surveys them, and the numbers are even more horrifying. They represent an existential threat to the existence of gay people. And for the left to dare to tell me that I'm threatening their physical safety, that I represent a threat to student security, that they are triggered, that they are threatened, that they are traumatized by my presence on campus, when the candidates they vote for are bringing in people who want them dead, it is unconscionable, it's unacceptable. And every time I bring it up with them and see the look of horror and shock on their faces as it begins to dawn on them just how incredibly logical they are time. But no, we must become Republican. Idiot. What?
Mentally stable people with IQs over 85.
You mean anyone who's a feminist or a Black Lives Matter activist or whatever? I'll take the second bit first. What advice can I give you? Being you, you have. I don't buy into the white patriarchy privilege model. But it's certainly true that, and indeed actually you have some challenges in life with the sort of crazy progressive nonsense now. But